Hi, my name's Ray Blanco. I'm the Chief Technology Editor at St. Paul Research. This is a financial publishing firm located just an hour outside of Washington, D.C. And for the past 11 years, I've shared my investment ideas on technology trends with a global audience of more than 80,000 people. So let me be the first to say, if you missed out in 2011 when I put my readers on the ground floor of 5G stocks, if you missed out in 2017 when I put my readers on the ground floor of marijuana stocks, if you missed out in 2020 when I correctly predicted the winner of the vaccine race 6 months before a successful FDA trial result was announced, then please, I urge you to heed my next warning and pay close attention to these 4 letters, B-E-S-S, pronounced Bess, because that's the name of a new game-changing technology that, according to Bloomberg, will surge 12,100% over the coming decades and potentially hand ground floor investors the most legitimate wealth building opportunity since the dawn of the internet. Now, I know that's a big claim, but I'm not the only one talking about this revolutionary tech. Forbes reports with this new kind of technology, market disruption is the only guarantee. The Wall Street Journal says this technology is ready to power the world. And British publication The Guardian says this technology threatens to do to incumbent business models what Uber is doing to the taxi industry and Facebook, Twitter, and Amazon did to traditional publishing. So, what exactly is so special about this new technology called Bess? Well, unlike the usual financial stories you hear from the mainstream media, Bess has nothing to do with electric vehicles, the blockchain, or 5G technology. But as you're about to discover, the Bess technology I'm talking about today is so revolutionary and so disruptive, it could soon dominate the world of energy in the same way that smartphones dominate wireless communication. In fact, my research leads me to believe Bess could usher in a new era of virtually unlimited, dirt-cheap energy that will disrupt the current global energy regime, kicking off what Citigroup Bank calls a $100 trillion collapse. It will permanently reshape the financial system by unleashing what UBS says will be $140 trillion in new investment capital over the coming decades, and pave the way for a new digital technology network, which Cisco said will be 100 to 1,000 times larger than the internet. It's for these reasons Bess could potentially dwarf even the greatest ground floor opportunities delivered by the internet revolution. I'm sure you remember when investors got rich buying the internet's most powerful disruption stocks like Amazon in 1997. It's been up as much as 235,330% since then. eBay in 1998. It's been up as much as 8,738%. Netflix in 2002. It's been up as much as 54,694%. Google in 2004. It's been up as much as 4,973%. And PayPal in 2015. It's been up as much as 2,244%. Based on the collection of facts you'll see in a moment. These legendary stock stories could pale in comparison to the opportunities unleashed by the forthcoming Bess boom, as dozens of companies race to dominate this disruptive technology. Remember, Bess is laying the foundational pillars for a new digital network poised to grow up to 1,000 times larger than the internet. Mark my words, Bess will fundamentally change the course of human civilization. It will rival the invention of the printing press or even the wheel. But this massive tech story is moving fast. Some of the smartest money on the planet has been working around the clock to harness the power of this new technology. Take Elon Musk and his company Tesla, for example. They are working on a secret project involving Bess technology. And according to an expert at the energy consulting firm Wood Mackenzie, Tesla's Bess business is already growing faster than their car business, and it's only going to accelerate. Surprisingly, Tesla's CEO has confirmed this shocking new trend with Elon Musk saying the Bess business is collectively bigger than the automotive business. If that fact surprises you, let me be the first to say, it's not your fault if you haven't heard of Bess. And that's because I haven't seen anyone else tell the full story behind it. It's also why I felt obligated to put together this free presentation to help you prepare for what's coming next. In fact, in just a moment, you'll be given the location of Tesla's secret Bess project. You'll see indisputable photographic evidence of Tesla's secret Bess project, and most importantly, you'll get the ticker symbol for the #1 Bess company poised to generate maximum returns for ground floor investors, 100% free of charge. Hardly anyone has heard of this little-known company. It's a stock that every serious investor should consider adding to their holdings immediately. But there's no time to waste. Your window of opportunity is closing fast. Bess has already attracted billions of dollars in investment capital, and that's because Elon Musk and Tesla aren't the only ones developing this new Bess technology. In fact, the world's most powerful billionaires have already joined forces to invest in Bess. We're talking Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, Jack Ma, and Richard Branson. Together, these rich, powerful billionaires have joined forces to create a dream team of venture capitalists called Breakthrough Energy Ventures. Breakthrough Energy Ventures pulls together these billionaires' financial capital, their insider connections, and their technological expertise to invest a bare minimum of $1 billion to rapidly commercialize disruptive technologies like Bess. They've already staked out a massive ground floor position, which explains why these famous billionaires aren't the only ones grabbing an early stake in Bess. Believe it or not, even the royal family of Saudi Arabia is pouring cash into Bess too. The House of Saud, arguably the richest energy family in the world, with a net worth of $1.4 trillion, is building one of the biggest Bess projects on the planet. On completion, it will power over 45 luxury hotels, 1,250 residential properties, an airport all along the Red Sea. Naturally, some of the biggest energy companies on the planet are following the richest energy family's lead. Oil giants and big utilities are scrambling to harness the power of Bess as we speak. They're unloading billions of dollars. They're trying to keep their business models relevant and hoping to avoid the same disruptive fate that happened to Blockbuster Video or Polaroid cameras. For example, Shell Oil, the third largest oil and gas company in the world, is spending $2 billion a year on research and development for Bess. Duke Energy, a Fortune 150 company, has already invested $1 billion in the Bess. And PG&E, the biggest utility company in the United States, even partnered up with Tesla, launching projects to desperately wrap their old business model around new Bess technology. Do you realize what this means? Some of the smartest money on the planet and some of the biggest businesses in energy are preparing for a major disruption. They're investing in Bess early. What do they know that everyday Americans don't? The answer is simple. National adoption of Bess is all but guaranteed by the United States federal government. Hardly anyone knows this, but Bess is a national security issue. That's why before leaving the White House, former President Donald Trump issued a little-known initiative called the Grand Challenge. It builds upon $158 million of government funding. It's a way to ensure America retains superiority in the realm of Bess and to block Chinese market share as well. Surprisingly, President Joe Biden is on the same page with Bess as well. He recently signed Executive Order 14017, which protects the critical raw materials in the Bess supply chain, putting Bess, as one analyst said, at the heart of U.S. technology leadership. And last but not least, there's the landmark ruling, Federal Order 2222, which virtually guarantees mass adoption of Bess. Experts have called the ruling game-changing, a landmark achievement, and the most significant order ever issued. Federal Order 2222 will pave the way for Bess to produce over 380 gigawatts of power in the next 4 years. Just to put those numbers in perspective, that's more than enough power to electrify every single American home, all 139 million of them. This wave of energy disruption is happening so fast that depending on where you live in the country, Bess technology might already be powering your home right now, and you may not even know it. That's why I wanted to issue this free, urgent buy alert, because any day now, Bess could become a household name. It's easy to see why. I predict Bess will usher in a new era of virtually unlimited dirt cheap energy that will disrupt $100 trillion in economic assets and potentially hand everyday folks the chance to participate in the greatest wealth generating event since the rise of the internet. I guarantee the details of this shocking story will personally affect your financial situation in the near future. But before I reveal the company behind this urgent buy alert, I'm sure you're wondering who I am and why I'm uniquely qualified to bring you this life-changing story. As I said, my name's Ray Blanco. I'm the Chief Technology Editor at St. Paul Research. If my name sounds remotely familiar to you, that's because you might have seen me on Fox Business or read some of my colleagues' work in the Wall Street Journal, Forbes, or USA Today. More than 80,000 people from all over the world follow my research on technology investments. Why? Because I've helped these folks take advantage of the hottest technology trends before those trends became household names. For example, in 2011, I first wrote to my readers about 5G wireless technology. It's now growing 4 times faster than 4G LTE, making it the fastest growing mobile technology of all time. In 2017, I recommended a collection of penny pot stocks to my readers. Since then, the marijuana market has more than doubled, soaring 155% and making it America's fastest growing industry. And in 2020, I correctly predicted the winner of the coronavirus vaccine race 6 months before they announced a successful trial. Readers who acted on my buy alert for Moderna saw gains as high as 385% since then. But the best part is that readers who have followed all of my closed recommendations in 2021 have generated an average return of 70% in 17 months per position. How are results like these possible? The answer is simple: insider connections. I worked for one of the most prestigious wealth management firms in the country that oversaw $30 billion in assets under management. My coveted position enabled me to amass a personal address book filled with the who's who's in the world of technology. For example, I've spoken personally with the CEO of NVIDIA, attended a private conference where Elon Musk was the main interviewee, and have had direct contact with some of the world's top scientists. It's connections like these and my personal research that put my readers on the ground floor of some of the most powerful investing opportunities of their time. Like a 660% gain on NVIDIA in less than 4 years, a 346% gain on advanced micro devices in 2.5 years, and a 334% gain in a year and a half on Penn National Gaming. But despite these big wins, my research today leads me to believe Tesla's secret Bess project will be a part of the largest ground floor opportunity I have ever uncovered. So what exactly is Bess? Put simply, Bess is a combination of two game-changing innovations merged together to create one new disruptive technology. And of those two innovations, the first one is the energy storage battery. Now, obviously, batteries are not a brand new innovation. Specifically, the lithium-ion battery is more than 40 years old. The Nobel Prize winner, Dr. John Goodenough, invented them during the 1970s oil crisis. People don't think about it every day, but the lithium-ion battery is the breakthrough technology that single-handedly unleashed the world of modern-day consumer electronics as we know it. Everything from the watch on your wrist, to the laptop on your desk, to the smartphone in your pocket, they're all powered by the lithium-ion battery. But as you'll soon discover, the lithium batteries I'm talking about today are much more powerful, much more advanced, and much more disruptive than any smartphone battery or even any electric vehicle battery for that matter. Let me show you what I mean. By pulling back the curtain on a secret Tesla Bess project that the vast majority of Americans are in the dark about. Just for a moment, try to think back to February 1st, 2021, because that's the day a freak cold storm gripped the state of Texas. It plunged the Lone Star State into negative 20-degree weather and froze over the power supply chain. Everything from natural gas pipelines to wind turbines, even nuclear power plants, they all buckled under sub-zero temperatures. As a consequence, the big freeze not only left millions of Texans without electricity for days, sending their power bills through the roof. For example, there was one Texas man who had $17,000 deducted from his bank account by the utility company. But according to Texas grid operators, the blackout was so severe and so destructive, the power grid was only 4 minutes and 37 seconds away from complete and total collapse. I'm talking about a blackout of historic proportions that would have sent the state of Texas back to the Stone Age. Now, it's not just me saying this. According to the Wall Street Journal, the chief executive of the Electric Reliability Council of Texas said the grid operator came dangerously close to losing control of the system. He went on to say, "We may still be here today talking about when the power is going to come back on." Now, thankfully, the Texas power crisis eventually passed, but not without revealing a painfully obvious weakness in Texas energy infrastructure and a massive opportunity for Elon Musk and Tesla to change the course of American energy forever. Here's what I mean. You might have seen the headlines about Elon Musk moving from California to Texas. Most people assume he wanted to get away from high taxes and anti-business regulations. But 99% of folks don't know the full story. My research reveals that Elon's move to Texas gives him a strategic foothold for his next major disruption, the energy industry. You see, experts call Texas the epicenter of the U.S. energy economy. It produces more power than any other state. And that's why, not long after the Texas blackout, Elon stepped in with Tesla and registered a secret project under a little-known subsidiary called Gambit Energy Storage LLC. Now, it's worth mentioning Tesla never publicly announced this project, and when prying reporters asked them about it, Tesla executives would not respond for comment. But an obscure SEC filing reveals a critical connection between Tesla and Gambit Energy Storage LLC. Take a look at this SEC filing for yourself. See the red circle? It confirms Gambit Energy LLC is filed as a subsidiary under Tesla. Therefore, it's safe to assume Gambit Energy is simply a cover for Tesla's secret project. Which begs the question, what exactly is Tesla hiding? Well, 40 miles south of Houston, Texas, in a small town called Angleton, with a population of about 20,000 people, Bloomberg reports Tesla is plugging a secret mega battery into the Texas grid, the same grid that nearly collapsed in the February freeze. That's right, Tesla is quietly installing a colossal battery into the Texas power grid. Now, make no mistake, this is not your everyday lithium-ion battery. These batteries are big, really big. Experts have described them as gigantic or enormous. One even called it the battery to power the world. For context, unlike the AA battery that fits in your TV remote, these Tesla batteries are mammoth-sized devices. They're what experts call utility scale or grid scale energy storage batteries. They're big enough to take up 2 parking spaces, and they connect together like Lego blocks to form even bigger mega batteries. Specifically in this case, Tesla's mega battery project in Texas will power 20,000 homes on a scorching hot summer day. Here's a video from Bloomberg on what they look like. As you can see, these Tesla energy storage batteries are a radical innovation. Not only can big batteries like these supply power to the grid, electrifying our homes, schools, and hospitals, but more importantly, for the first time in the history of human civilization, these kinds of giant batteries enable us to store energy from cheap renewable sources of power like solar and wind. The reason why that's important is because we both know solar power works great during the day, but it's effectively useless at night. So by stockpiling cheap energy from the sun, these big storage batteries turn solar from an inconsistent source of electricity into a 24-hour power plant. That's why Forbes says energy storage is referred to as the holy grail of renewable energy, as it gives solar and wind the ability to generate electricity 24/7. Point being, when you combine the infinite power of the sun with Tesla's battery technology, you can produce a virtually unlimited supply of dirt cheap energy. I know that sounds crazy, but Tesla has already installed these Bess battery projects in 40+ countries around the world. In fact, a Bess battery was built right outside of Los Angeles, California. It's already delivered game-changing results. And when I say game-changing, I mean it. According to Forbes, this solar plus battery storage project generates power at half the cost of natural gas. Forbes went on to say the project generates electricity at prices that leave fossil fuels in the dust and may relegate nuclear power to the dustbin. In other words, big batteries are producing some of the cheapest energy in the world. And that's great news for you, because this disruptive energy storage boom is just getting started. Until recently, energy storage batteries were too costly for widespread commercial adoption. But because of the recent technological improvements made to the lithium-ion battery during the electric vehicle manufacturing rush, which put 1 million EVs on the road in just the past decade, the cost to produce the lithium-ion battery pack has dropped like a rock. Over the past 10 years, lithium-ion battery prices have cratered 85%. This past year alone, they plunged 30%, and experts forecast they will drop another 65% by 2030. Just see for yourself. As you can see, lithium-ion batteries have become so cheap, they're now affordable for applications outside the EV industry, like energy storage. That's why a market application director for Fluence, a battery storage company with enough projects to power 750,000 homes, recently said, "We're almost entirely piggybacking on the growth of lithium-ion battery technology, which is driven mostly by electric vehicles and consumer electronics." You don't need a PhD in economics to understand why this matters. Falling prices inevitably creates surging demand. And that's exactly what's happening right now. See for yourself. Do you see the growth rate of this chart? It shows big batteries are about to blast off into a state of hypergrowth. We've seen this same story play out multiple times throughout history. Every major technology that furnishes our American way of life follows this exact same trajectory. Take a look. Everything from the telephone to electricity to radios, refrigerators, television sets, air conditioners, computers, cell phones, and internet connectivity. They all roughly follow the same pattern. At first, these technologies are slow to catch on, only taken up by a handful of die-hard techies, until eventually the general public and business world adopts these technologies on a widespread basis, triggering a phase of exponential growth. That's why Citron Capital, one of the world's leading hedge funds, which returned 202% in 2020, says the global energy storage market is set to explode 25 times by 2030. Bloomberg forecasts battery storage will skyrocket 122 times by 2040. That's a market growth rate of 12,100%. All told, energy storage could eventually swell into a $1.2 trillion market opportunity all by itself. Logically, due to increasing demand and dirt cheap manufacturing costs, energy storage batteries are no longer in a pre-commercial or proof of concept phase. Grid-scale battery storage is at a tipping point. It's on the brink of mainstream adoption right now. So it's no wonder UBS, which was named the world's #1 investment banking house by Global Finance, conducted a worldwide study on this exact topic and ultimately concluded that energy storage potential is at a tipping point. Bloomberg confirmed this outlook, stating, "Battery storage is near a tipping point." And the Institute for Energy Economics and Financial Analysis agreed, headlining an article saying grid-scale battery costs have reached a tipping point. So what's the bottom line? It means your timing's perfect. Because when you connect the dots, you'll see how battery storage has driven some of the most exciting gains in the stock market today. Let's take Tesla, for example. As you probably know, Tesla is a world leader in battery technology. But when most people think Tesla, they think electric vehicles. They don't think about Tesla's mega battery projects in 40-plus countries around the world. And they don't think about Tesla's Powerwall, a battery storage product for residential homes, which, by the way, Tesla has already installed more than 200,000 of these across the globe. And yet, energy storage is a major factor explaining why Tesla is on track to reach a $1 trillion valuation. You think I'm blowing smoke? Some of the smartest minds on Wall Street are finally starting to see what I see. Like when billionaire tech investor Chamath Palihapitiya, who the management chief of Ritholtz Wealth calls the next Warren Buffett, went on CNBC and said the following.
I think the reality is that Tesla is a distributed energy business, right? They are figuring out how to harness energy, how to store it, and then how to use it in a way to allow humans to be productive. Cars are a manifestation, but solar panels are as well, power walls are as well. And I'm telling you right now, Scott, the big disruption that's coming is to power utilities. There are trillions of dollars of bonds, of capex, of value sitting inside the energy generation infrastructure of the world that is going to go upside down. And when that goes pear-shaped, Tesla will double and triple again.
Keep in mind, according to Green Tech Media, 90% of Tesla's battery sales come from their utility-scale energy storage business. According to Wood Mackenzie, Tesla's battery storage business is growing faster than its electric vehicle business. Plus, the U.S. has already installed more energy storage projects in 2020 than in the previous 7 years combined. That explains why Tesla isn't the only stock experiencing marvelous growth due to energy storage. For example, NextEra Energy, which has more energy storage capacity than any other company in the United States, has delivered up to 945% returns to shareholders over the past 15 years. Albemarle, a chemical manufacturing company which produces lithium for batteries, has shot up as high as 2,410% since 1994. And Enphase Energy, which produces energy storage solution for homes, has ripped as high as 2,750% over 9 years. That's enough to turn every $10,000 into $309,000. Of course, these are rare and exceptional gains, and they don't happen to every stock. And as we both know, some go nowhere at all. But it proves battery storage returns can be explosive, especially if you know what you're doing. Moreover, if you look closely, you'll see that the vast majority of these gains came only in the past year or so, which means these big battery profits are on the move now. Believe it or not, the rate of adoption for battery storage is now growing so fast, it's even surprising the experts. For example, Wood Mackenzie, the energy consulting firm that was previously owned by Deutsche Bank, was so shocked by the exponential growth of battery storage, they even went on record confessing the boom is unfolding much faster than they previously anticipated. This is what they said: every time we do a new forecast, we have to revise it up for deployment and down for cost. We've been proven wrong again and again. What's more, the Rocky Mountain Institute, an energy consulting firm that has worked with nearly 100 Fortune 500 companies, agrees, tying it all together, saying, advanced battery technologies are poised to dramatically change our lives sooner than many market actors realize. Rapid improvements in lithium-ion battery costs, coupled with growing demand for electric vehicles, have unleashed massive investments in the advanced battery technology ecosystem. These investments will push new battery technologies across competitive thresholds for new applications more quickly than anticipated. This, in turn, will speed the global energy transition beyond the expectations of the mainstream global energy models. The economy of scale effects will lead to continued cost declines and exponential growth. So, what's this all mean? In short, the battery storage boom is here. It's taking off right now. It's already changing the landscape of energy all across America. States are already adopting energy storage batteries in droves, even using them to replace fossil fuel plants. For example, in California, PG&E is shutting down 3 gas plants and replacing them with some of the biggest grid-scale batteries in the world, manufactured by none other than Tesla. In Florida, NextEra Energy is retiring 2 major gas plants and replacing them with battery storage projects. Vistra Corp, one of America's biggest energy companies that owns 36 natural gas plants across the country, says they don't plan on building or buying another gas plant. Instead, they're investing $1 billion in battery storage systems. Keep in mind, this has nothing to do with fighting climate change or currying favor with the Biden administration. It's all about bottom line. As you've seen, battery storage is already generating power at half the cost of natural gas. It's kicking off an epic transition from fossil fuels to clean technology. That explains why states across America are not only scrapping fossil fuel plants, but they're also rejecting plans to build new plants entirely. Why? Because the cost to build a new battery storage project is already cheaper than the cost to build a new fossil fuel plant. Like in the state of Michigan, Consumer Energy said they would shutter the vast majority of their plants by the end of 2030 and retire all of them by 2040. In the state of Colorado, Xcel Energy is phasing out 2 coal plants ahead of schedule. In the state of Indiana, the Utility Regulatory Commission said no to a proposal for a 850 megawatt gas plant. In the state of Rhode Island, the Energy Facility Sitting Board said no to a proposal for a 900 megawatt gas plant. In the state of Arizona, the Arizona Corporation Commission extended a moratorium on building a new gas-fired generating facility. In the state of North Carolina, Duke Energy has effectively canceled all previously planned gas-fired power plants. The list goes on and on all across the country. If you were waiting for a warning bell to alarm you that a great transition from fossil fuels to clean technology energy is here, this is it. This is your wake-up call. The message you're seeing on your screen right now. Battery storage is a radically disruptive, category-killing technology. It's taking the country by storm, and it'll change the way we generate power forever. As a result, I predict it will mint a whole new class of big battery millionaires. There's just one tiny detail, however, and that detail will separate those who stand to make nice money from those who could pocket life-changing wealth from this disruptive megatrend. As I said, battery storage is just the first component of Bess, because by itself, big batteries are still a dumb technology. They can't make decisions without human input, meaning they're just pieces of hardware, kind of like a computer that hasn't been programmed. But when you program these big dumb batteries with another game-changing innovation, that is artificial intelligence and machine learning, you get a truly novel smart technology called Bess, which stands for Battery Energy Storage Systems. Put simply, Bess is a computerized network of smart batteries that can think for themselves. They can make decisions on the best time to store energy and the best time to use it up automatically. But more importantly, battery energy storage systems mark a fundamental turning point in the history of energy, where, for the first time ever, the digital technology of the internet revolution is finally disrupting the 100-year-old power grid. Michael Grunwald, a Harvard alum and journalist for the Washington, D.C. publication Politico, sees what I see, saying, ultimately, the real power of the battery revolution might not just be the way it accelerates the renewable revolution, but the way it interacts with the digital revolution. The real transformation comes through sensors and smart appliances and software driven by artificial intelligence that is starting to merge the internet with the grid. That's right. Armed with advanced computing technology like artificial intelligence and machine learning, Bess batteries are digitizing the power grid and consequently computerizing energy. Industry expert Mark Ahlstrom of Energy Systems Integration confirms my views, saying, battery storage is disrupting the way utilities provide power. The change is driven not just by cheap renewables and cheap batteries, but by the electronics that link them together. These are using electronics, computers, state-of-the-art technologies that scale really well, as we've seen in other industries. And it really is the digital revolution finally hitting the power industry. Bottom line, Bess batteries, including Tesla's, are ushering in a new era of digital energy that will change the world forever. It's poised to create millions of new jobs and thousands of new businesses, handing ground floor investors the greatest wealth-building opportunity since the birth of the internet. I'm sure you remember when investors got rich buying the internet's most disruptive stocks, like Amazon in 1997, which, by the way, has been up as much as 235,330% since then. Or eBay in 1998. It's been up as much as 8,738%. Or Netflix in 2002. It's been up as much as 54,694%. Google in 2004. It's been up as much as 4,973%. And PayPal in 2015. It's been up as much as 2,283%. and 44%. Now, we're seeing a similar story unfold again. The digital technology of the internet is triggering a whole new wave of disruption in the power industry. And it's all thanks to these big, smart Bess batteries. Now, if this sounds far-fetched, I assure you it's not. So let me show you the true power of these Bess batteries by shining a light on another underreported part of Tesla's business model. Have you heard of AutoBidder? That's the name of Tesla's AI, Bess battery software. Its user interface looks something like this. One fascinating feature about Tesla's AutoBidder software is that it's modeled on Wall Street's high-frequency trading algorithms. The only difference is, instead of trading the stock market, AutoBidder enables Tesla's Bess batteries to trade the energy market. Practically speaking, that means Tesla's AutoBidder buys energy from the grid when prices are low and sells energy back when prices are high. As a result, this energy arbitrage enables Tesla's Bess battery owners to turn the tables on big power companies by effectively transforming their battery investment into a drastically reduced power bill, or even a nice little stream of passive income. But it gets better, because Tesla's AutoBidder is more than just an AI software for big batteries. More importantly, it's also a digital network that links and connects their Bess batteries together, enabling them to talk to one another, share data with one another, and even trade energy with one another. AutoBidder's digital network of energy storage batteries works no differently than how personal computers and smartphones can communicate with one another over the internet. And believe it or not, AutoBidder connects all of Tesla's battery energy storage systems together. Not just the big batteries, but even the smaller storage batteries for residential homes I mentioned earlier. And with Bess batteries in over 40 countries around the world, and with over 200,000 smaller home batteries installed as well, Tesla, along with its energy storage competitors, are rapidly blanketing the globe with Bess technology. Collectively, they're creating a digital network of energy storage batteries that will wrap around the Earth in the same way your central nervous system wraps around your spinal cord. And ultimately, the World Wide Web of computerized Bess batteries will act together as one giant battery internet, powering our world 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I know it sounds crazy, but on an individual level, Bess could enable you to benefit from advanced energy storage and management services for next to nothing. Vic Shao, the founder of an energy storage competitor of Tesla's, which leverages its own artificial intelligence software, believes the power generated from Bess will be so cheap you'll soon be able to have unlimited energy price packages for your home. It'll be no different than how you pay a flat monthly fee for unlimited data or text on your cell phone bill. Now imagine never paying a power bill based on how much you run the AC during a hot summer month, or how much you crank up the heat during the wintertime. Just one cheap fee, and that's it. Shao believes Bess Tech could make energy so inexpensive that electricity will become too cheap to meter entirely. As a result, Bess will disrupt the whole entire utilities industry. I know that sounds hard to believe, but remember, by itself, Tesla already has Bess battery projects up and running in 40+ countries. For example, in South Australia, Tesla's giant Bess battery will save owners over $40 million. In Moss Landing, California, Tesla's giant Bess battery will save owners over $100 million. Of course, Tesla isn't the only one at the forefront of this revolutionary Bess boom. For example, there's another Bess company that already has more than 16 million runtime hours under its belt. It's operating or has been contracted in over 900 sites. It's been legally permitted in over 250 cities. And many Fortune 500 companies, some of which you or your family have probably done business with, are already powering their day-to-day operations with best tech like Amazon, Facebook, UPS, Wells Fargo, Bed Bath & Beyond, and Whole Foods, and too many others to list here. It's for reasons like these, Bess batteries will replace the electric vehicle buzz in the news cycle much sooner than almost anyone expects. It will send a shockwave of disruption throughout the entire energy industry that will recast the fundamental structure of society. And it will unlock one of the greatest wealth-creating events in human history. It will effectively disrupt as much as $100 trillion in economic assets. Now, I know that's a big claim, so let me prove what I mean by showing you what this new world of best disruption looks like. The best way to think about the best energy disruption is to compare it to how the internet disrupted information. Before the age of the internet, there were only a handful of places where you could get information. A few major news stations, a handful of newspapers, maybe a couple of dozen magazines. But the internet changed all that. It turned the old, centralized, top-down structure of information on its head. And it created a new, decentralized, bottom-up structure of information that has changed the world. It turns out, once the internet came along, people didn't want to just passively consume news anymore. They wanted to actively publish their own ideas. They wanted to contribute to the information economy by writing their own blog articles, by posting their own video clips on YouTube, and by voicing their own opinion on social media. Almost overnight, every person became their own little publishing company. And now, right before our very eyes, the same thing is happening in the arena of energy. Soon enough, almost everyone you know will no longer be just a passive consumer of energy. They'll be producers of energy too. They'll all have the chance to benefit from their own little personal best batteries. That means you, your friends, your family, your favorite local restaurant, Fortune 500 companies. Best batteries will enable them to buy, sell, and trade energy from the power grid automatically. And this interconnected digital network of best technology, collecting data together, exchanging information together, trading energy together, marks the beginning of a new kind of digital network. A digital network specifically designed for computerized energy. An internet of energy, if you will. And it's an internet of energy where millions of smart energy devices like Bess grid batteries and Bess home batteries will connect to other smart energy devices like thermostats and refrigerators and traffic lights. It will radically transform the outdated power grid into a digital network of smart energy. With the flick of a switch, millions of people will become mini energy entrepreneurs, and millions of buildings will become mini power plants. It's not just me saying this. Marie Hatter, the former vice president of marketing at Cisco Systems, a company that played a critical role in furnishing the internet's rollout with telecommunications equipment, said this new digital network will be 100 to 1,000 times larger than the internet. She elaborates, some homes have internet access, some don't. Everyone has electricity access. All of those homes could potentially be connected, led by disruptive digital power that's contained in Bess batteries. The Internet of Energy will shut the lights off for big power companies. It will render their whole entire business model obsolete. Now, I know that's a bold prediction, but consider this. Utility companies are some of the only legal monopolies in the United States. They're not used to free market competition. But smart energy devices like Tesla's Bess batteries pose an existential threat to their business model. It's the first digital asset to ever be installed into the power grid. Do you realize what this means? When you connect the dots throughout history, you'll notice a predictable, reliable, repeatable pattern where the digital technology of the internet disrupted long-standing business models and handed everyday folks some of the greatest wealth-building opportunities in financial history. Think I'm exaggerating? Look what happened in 1997 when Amazon went public and used digital technology to disrupt the brick-and-mortar retail industry. It's been up as much as 235,330% since then, enough to bloom every $5,000 into an $11,766,500 profit. Look what happened in 2002 when Netflix went public and used digital technology to disrupt the entertainment industry. It's been up as much as 54,694% since then, enough to turn every $5,000 into $2,734,700. Look what happened in 2004 when Alphabet, the parent company of Google, went public and used digital technology to turn the Yellow Pages phone book into a web-based search engine. It's been up as much as 4,973% since then, enough to swell every $5,000 into $253,650. Look what happened in 1998 when eBay went public and disrupted the auction industry with digital technology. It's been up as much as 8,738%, enough to grow every $5,000 into a $436,933 profit. Look what happened in 2015 when PayPal went public and used digital technology to disrupt financial transactions. It's been up as much as 2,244%, enough to mushroom every $5,000 into $112,226 in profits. Look what happened in 2007 when Apple disrupted the telecommunications industry with digital technology by releasing the iPhone. It's been up as much as 4,920% since then, enough to turn every $5,000 into $250,983. The writing on the wall is clear. When the game-changing power of digital technology disrupts an outdated business model like the age-old power industry, everyday investors are handed a once-in-a-lifetime shot at fortune-building returns. Of course, not every company looking to disrupt the market will be a success or see extraordinary gains like these. After all, nothing in the market is guaranteed. But here's the thing. The Internet of Energy isn't the end of the Bess battery story. In fact, it's just the beginning. And that's because I haven't even mentioned, as you've seen from the research presented so far, that it's no stretch to say we're quickly transitioning from a fossil fuel-based civilization and toward a new system of digital energy led by Bess batteries. I beg you to heed my warning. This paradigm shift will happen much sooner than almost anyone thinks. For example, according to a comprehensive study conducted by the researchers at Physicians, Scientists, and Engineers for Health Energy, Bess batteries are already cheap enough to replace a majority of peaker power plants all across the country. According to Yale University, most fossil fuel plants will reach the end of their working life by 2035, paving the way for mass deployment of utility-scale Bess batteries. And, according to the researchers at RethinkX, a world-renowned think tank that specializes in forecasting technology disruptions, Bess batteries will displace the global oil economy as soon as 2030. Thanks to Tesla and its energy storage competitors, Bess battery technology will trigger the deepest and most brutal cycle of disruption in human history. It will spark what Citigroup predicts will be a $100 trillion collapse. As you might have guessed, I'm talking about the end of fossil fuels. This isn't common knowledge, but when you calculate all of the fossil fuel infrastructure and assets baked into the global economy right now. We're talking everything from oil rigs to pipelines to unpumped oil and unmined coal in the ground. These assets are worth about $100 trillion. And soon enough, it could all become worthless. And investors will have to write off these useless assets like bad debt on a balance sheet. Hedge funds with substantial positions in big oil will blow up. Blindsided investors will suffer irreparable losses. Technology experts have a special term for this phenomenon. They'll soon refer to oil assets as a legacy infrastructure, where an entire generation of technology becomes obsolete. No different than how you and I think about VCRs and tape cassettes today. This potential $100 trillion collapse will leave a massive vacuum in the investing world, sending unprepared investors running with their tail between their legs and looking for new opportunities to undo the damage to their 401ks. Which, by the way, finally brings me to the last piece of the Bess puzzle. At the same time, Wall Street funds are fleeing the antiquated oil and gas industry. They'll be frantically looking for new investment ideas to generate outsized gains. Logically, hedge funds and money managers will turn their attention to clean technologies like Bess batteries to grow their portfolios. After all, Bess lies at the heart of this financial disruption. It's the master key technology that turns wind and solar into 24/7 power plants. That's why Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, a hedge fund with over $7 trillion in assets under management, says, "I believe we are on the edge of a fundamental reshaping of finance. BlackRock even believes their clients will double their money in 5 years simply by investing in clean tech." That also explains why investment bank UBS forecasts a massive tidal wave of cash flooding into clean tech like Bess batteries over the coming years. How much cash is UBS forecasting? About $140 trillion to be exact. Just to put the size of that number in perspective, that's 4 times bigger than the whole entire S&P 500. A truly earth-shattering amount of money. And when you combine $140 trillion of capital flooding into clean technologies, along with the $100 trillion disruption in the fossil fuel industry, you get a whopping $240 trillion up for grabs. This might make Bess the largest investment story of all time. The best part is this financial disruption will happen much sooner than almost anyone thinks. Remember, Tesla has already deployed their Bess battery projects in 40-plus countries around the world. The ultra-wealthy elite like Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, and Richard Branson have all joined forces to invest in other Bess companies. The royal family of Saudi Arabia, followed by the world's largest oil giants, they're all trying to get ahead of this massive disruption by investing in Bess early. It's a new tech market set to explode 12,100% in the coming years. But perhaps most importantly, there's the landmark ruling, Federal Order 2222, which paves the way for mainstream adoption of Bess by legally forcing utility companies to move over and make room for industrial-scale Bess batteries to light up the power grid. Federal Order 2222 virtually guarantees national adoption of this disruptive new technology, spreading all across America with no end in sight. In my entire career, I've never seen such a golden opportunity for ground floor investors. Bess batteries have every major macroeconomic tailwind behind their backs. Rapidly declining technology costs, billions of dollars in financial backing, and political and legal regulations in their favor. Together, these powerful forces will all bring Bess batteries to the mainstream much sooner than almost anyone expects. But the window of opportunity for early stage positioning is closing. This story won't stay under the radar forever. In fact, as you've already seen, depending on where you live in America, Bess batteries could be powering your home right now. As a result, there's literally no time to waste. If you want to take advantage of this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, you have no choice but to act now, before this story goes viral. So what should you do? Well, naturally, you could go out and buy shares of Tesla. And from the evidence you've seen today, that's probably not a bad idea. Tesla is obviously a leader in the Bess battery industry, but as it stands, shares of Tesla are rather expensive, which is why I want to give you a collection of lesser-known investment ideas that are poised for even bigger and faster growth. At the start of this presentation, I promised to give you the #1 company poised to soar from the Bess battery boom, absolutely free of charge. I'm going to make good on that promise right now. And it all begins with an industry-leading consulting firm named Guidehouse, which has more than 7,000 employees in over 50 global locations, and was so blown away by the remarkable growth in the battery storage industry that they set out on a mission to rank the top 13 battery storage companies on a leaderboard, so they could ultimately determine the #1 battery storage company in the whole world. As a result, they investigated Tesla, General Electric, and Con Edison, among 10 others. Moreover, they ranked every company based on 12 key industry metrics, including go-to-market strategy, geographic reach, and market staying power. Finally, at the end of their investigation, they came to a stunning conclusion, shocking both themselves and the industry at large. Guidehouse ultimately discovered a little-known company called Fluence that is hands down the #1 leader of Bess battery storage in the world, even beating out Tesla. After all, Fluence acquired a Bess company which not only had a master supplier agreement with Tesla, but also engineered one of the most advanced battery software systems in the industry. Fluence has installed and operated battery storage projects for the past 13 years and has established a market presence in over 24 countries. Plus, Fluence has deployed more battery storage projects than anyone else on the planet. It's a promising company. They're only 1/600th the market cap of Tesla, but there's just one catch. You cannot directly invest in Fluence because it's not a publicly traded company, meaning it's not listed on any stock exchange anywhere. So that's the bad news. Now, the good news is that Fluence is co-owned by two industry juggernauts. One is Siemens AG, a German automation heavyweight which focuses on energy generation and digital technology. And the other is AES Corp, a Fortune 500 company headquartered in Arlington, Virginia, and one of the biggest power companies in the world. AES is quickly growing into a global leader of power generation. They recently inked a 10-year contract with Google, agreeing to power their data centers with Bess batteries. So here's my investment idea. Buy AES Corp, ticker symbol AES, pay no more than $28 per share, and you'll not only own one of the leading power companies on the planet, but you'll also get a ground floor stake in Fluence, which is currently valued at over $1 billion. And, by the way, is poised to go public through an IPO as its own company in 2022. So if Fluence becomes a publicly traded company, you could be handsomely rewarded for your patience with shares of Fluence, the #1 best company in the world, virtually for free. It's a great way to dip your toe in the Bess battery boom. With this idea, you'll get any potential blue chip returns with shares of AES, but also capture explosive profit potential with the Fluence IPO as well. It's truly the best of both worlds. But of course, this strategy may not be for everyone. It requires a little bit of patience, and it won't make you rich overnight. And of course, nothing in the market is guaranteed. You should never invest more than you are willing to lose. But if you, however, are interested in a much more direct, much more immediate way to play the best battery revolution for bigger growth prospects and faster potential upside, then I'd like to share my second investment idea with you. As you've just seen, the investing world is undergoing a history-changing paradigm shift, where trillions of dollars in the oil and gas industry are becoming unearthed and flowing into clean technologies like Bess. Over the coming years, as a $140 trillion wave of investment capital floods into the clean tech space, my research leads me to believe there's one superstar Bess company that will attract the lion's share of attention from Wall Street and the general investing public, sending its stock soaring substantially higher for years to come. Here's why this company matters. Based on the number of employees, this company is only 0.002% the size of Tesla. And yet, according to one well-respected Wall Street hedge fund, this under-the-radar firm is absolutely crushing Tesla in the Bess battery boom. They're out installing Tesla's Bess projects by over 165% in the largest renewable energy market in the United States, giving them nearly 80% market share. They already have a backlog of 10 to 20-year contracts with a portfolio of Fortune 500 companies, virtually guaranteeing profitability for years to come. And Swiss investment bank Credit Suisse recently initiated coverage on this company, issuing an enthusiastic buy rating. And the best part? The business model. They don't even make their own batteries. Believe it or not, they actually buy them from competitors, including Tesla. So how do they make money? Simple. They manage and optimize energy for clients using their proprietary Bess battery software. I'm not exaggerating when I say it's the most advanced Bess technology on the planet. It's protected by 24 patents. It already operates the energy supply for over 850 Bess batteries around the world. And because their proprietary software runs on artificial intelligence and machine learning, it gets smarter as it collects more data every day, creating a moat around its business and making it nearly impossible for new competitors to climb into the industry and steal away market share. That explains why this stock has already soared as high as 400% since its debut last October. But once Wall Street realizes the full impact of the Bess battery revolution and this under-the-radar company with monopoly-like positioning, hedge funds and money managers will be forced to add it to their core holdings, sparking a buying frenzy on Wall Street and powering this stock higher for years to come. I guarantee ground floor investors will feel like millionaires as they watch Wall Street and the general public pile into this stock for the chance at magnificent returns. You can get the full details of this revolutionary Bess company in my new special report called The Perfect Bess Investment, 10x Your Cash on Tesla's Biggest Competitor. But that's not all, because I also want to introduce you to another company that's developed a radical new battery chemistry which could very well dethrone lithium as the energy storage king. As you've seen, lithium-ion is a dominant material for Bess batteries. It accounts for more than 90% of the battery storage market. But there's a brand new battery chemistry emerging, 12 years in the making, which is finally hitting the market. And it's well positioned to eventually replace lithium-ion as the energy storage king. It looks like this mysterious metal, when it comes to energy storage batteries, this mysterious metal holds a few advantages over lithium-ion. For starters, unlike lithium, it's not flammable, so it's less likely to explode or spark fires. It's widely abundant. There's at least 10 times more of this metal in global reserves than lithium, making it cheaper. And most importantly, The metal also has a longer shelf life than lithium and can hold an electric charge longer than lithium, making it more cost-effective in the long run. In short, this strange metal is simply a superior battery chemistry to lithium ion. Now, typically, I'm skeptical of claims for a better than lithium battery, but the difference is this mysterious metal is an already proven technology. Specifically, one company uses this unusual metal to manufacture Bess batteries, and deals have already been inked. Commercial deals in New Mexico, Colorado, and Texas. As the 122X Bess battery revolution unfolds over the coming years, this mysterious metal and the company behind it could very well snap up massive chunks of lithium's 90% market share, potentially putting ground floor investors in the perfect position to reap windfall profits from this big battery disruption. You can get all the details in my new research report called Lithium's Replacement: How to Profit from the 122X Battery Storage Disruption. The only thing I ask in return is for you to give my flagship research advisory, Technology Profits Confidential, a 100% risk-free try. There are plenty of research advisories on the market, but I promise you there's nothing like Technology Profits Confidential. It's a once-in-a-kind investment newsletter that aims to get you on the ground floor of the most promising technology companies before those companies hit their exponential growth phase. These are companies that are working around the clock to solve the world's biggest challenges using state-of-the-art technologies, cutting-edge science, and breakthrough ideas. Specifically, I focus on companies that are far beyond the proof of concept phase, but have yet to become household names. It's this exact same strategy that's delivered stunning winners for my readers in 2021. Just see for yourself. Over 11 positions, I've booked 6 double-digit winners, 4 triple-digit winners, and just 1 small loss. I don't say this to brag, but rather to show you why 80,000 paid-up subscribers eagerly look forward to my investment ideas every month, and why over 45,000 people have decided to join Technology Profits Confidential for life. After all, with an average gain of 36.44% in 18 months on average per position, my publisher told me he could easily charge $10,000 a year for the ideas inside Technology Profits Confidential. But charging such a premium price would violate my mission of helping as many folks as possible. After all, I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. My parents fled Cuba in the 1960s in search for a better life. So I know what it's like to struggle and to have no insider connections. Therefore, as opposed to using my research to help the rich get richer, I've always published my ideas with the little guy in mind. That's why in just a moment, I'll go over a special fee I've arranged just for you. But first, I want to tell you about one last investment opportunity. As you've seen, America's power grid will undergo more changes in the next decade than in the last century. And a major trigger for this epic transformation is President Biden's $1 trillion infrastructure bill. It's slated to be the biggest infrastructure package in United States history. It not only promises to replace the U.S. government's car fleet with 650,000 electric vehicles, but it also promises to build out 550,000 electric vehicle charging stations across the nation. Of course, this new infrastructure rollout is a boon for companies performing upgrades to distribute power for electrical vehicle charging. And there's one company in particular that's primed to ride this $1 trillion cash wave for higher profits. Just for starters, this company has a deep and proven history of working with the United States federal government, having directly pocketed well over $200 million from the Department of Energy, and having collected untold sums of money from a $1 billion energy program under the Trump administration. But I believe, As President Biden's trillion-dollar infrastructure bill rolls out, this under-the-radar company will directly benefit and potentially soar for tremendous upside. You can get all the details of this company in my research report called The Number One Stock for the Biggest Infrastructure Bill in U.S. History. Let me show you how to grab your copy right now. As promised, I'm ready to send you these 3 reports mentioned here today. The perfect best investment, 10x your money on Tesla's biggest best competitor. Lithium's replacement, how to profit from the 122x battery storage disruption. And the number one stock for the biggest infrastructure bill in U.S. history. In return, I simply ask you to take a 100% risk-free subscription to Technology Profits Confidential. Here's what you'll get the moment you become a new member. First, you'll get a welcome email with your username and password to the members-only Technology Profits Confidential website. Once inside, you'll get immediate access to the 3 special reports. Then, each and every month, you'll receive 1 to 3 new investment opportunities, along with my written analysis and specific buying instructions. Of course, I never leave my readers behind. That's why I'll also send you an urgent flash alert whenever there's a change in the market, so you'll know exactly what to do with your investments. Plus, you'll also get access to members-only monthly calls, where I'll unpack my latest research ideas and tell you where I think the smart money is heading next. Not to mention, you'll also get full access to the Technology Profits Confidential Model Portfolio. It contains the same type of investment opportunities that delivered unparalleled wealth-building results for my readers over the past 11 years. And lastly, you'll also get access to my Maryland-based customer support team. So if you have any questions about your subscriptions, you'll have the help you need. Okay, so let me just recap. Here's everything you get when you become the newest member of Technology Profits Confidential. 12 monthly issues of Technology Profits Confidential. The first special report, The Perfect Best Investment, 10x your cash on Tesla's biggest best competitor. The second special report, Lithium's Replacement, how to profit from the 122x battery storage disruption. The third special report, the number one stock for the biggest infrastructure bill in U.S. history. You get members-only monthly phone calls, urgent market flash alert, the Technology Profits Confidential Model Portfolio, 24/7 access to the members-only Technology Profits Confidential website, and access to the customer service team. So what's the fee to join Technology Profits Confidential today? Now that's the best part. By itself, the published price for Technology Profits Confidential is $199 per year. And when you add the 3 special reports mentioned today, each valued at $199, that's a total value of $796. But because I want to help as many folks as possible take advantage of this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, I've arranged a special deal with my publisher to allow you to become our newest member for as little as $49 a year. That comes out to just 13 cents a day. The best part is that you don't even need to make a commitment at this moment. And that's because you're protected by my 100% money-back guarantee. Take the next 3 months to look over my research and see how my investment ideas perform. If for any reason, or for no reason at all, you're not absolutely ecstatic with Technology Profits Confidential, then give my friendly and knowledgeable customer service team a call. They're located in Hunt Valley, Maryland, and their number is 1-844-370-6635. And they'll give you a prompt and courteous refund for every penny you paid. No questions asked, no strings attached. It'll be as if you never spent a dime. Not to mention, you'll keep the 3 special reports mentioned here today, just as my way of saying thank you for giving my research service a try. This is your chance to see everything, experience everything with virtually nothing to lose, and only a world of opportunity to gain. There's just one catch. You must act now, simply for the fact that Technology Profits Confidential is published for folks who truly want to learn how to invest in the world's hottest technology trends. Logically, it follows if you can't take advantage of the 3 free reports and the 100% money-back guarantee, then it's likely you won't take advantage of Technology Profits Confidential to its fullest potential, and it would be irresponsible for me to accept you as our newest member. That's why I strongly urge you to jump on this 13-cent per day price right now. Trust me, I have no desire to pressure you into making a quick decision. It's just that I don't want you to miss out on yet another life-changing opportunity. If you regret not buying Amazon in 1997, Netflix in 2002, or Google in 2004, then you know, like anything else in life, there are no second chances. That's why the best time to act is right now. All you have to do is click the Join Now button below. Clicking the button doesn't obligate you to anything. You'll just be taken to a secure order page where you can review the details of this amazing offer in full. Okay, that finally brings our time together to an end. In closing, I want to thank you for taking a moment to investigate this new Bess technology and how it's set to disrupt the energy market. I look forward to welcoming you as our newest subscriber, and I'm 100% confident when Bess batteries become a household name and when all your friends and family are talking about this exciting new technology, you'll smile ear to ear knowing you had the chance to get in on the ground floor of this historic opportunity in advance, remembering full well that it all started with you learning about a secret project 40 miles south of Houston, Texas. I'll see you on the inside.